Let's face it, sometimes in life, less is more, and this is one of those scenarios. I firmly believe that the optimal number of teams that the CFP should let in every year is 8, and I'm going to explain why in this video. If you're new here, please subscribe to The Air with Brian Gregoire. It's a channel that covers college football, the NFL, and college basketball from a business standpoint. We're building this thing brick by brick, and this community is growing rapidly by the day. So hit that subscribe button, because I'd love for you to be a part of it. I appreciate it. So yes, everyone is throwing a fit right now over the current college football playoff system. You've got fan bases clashing. You've got Notre Dame beefing with the ACC. And everyone has an opinion. And that's great. Everybody has a reason to be outraged and pissed. I get it. Everybody feels dejected in some way. But on this channel, I like to be focused more on the solution than the problem, which is why today I'm presenting my solution. And it is indeed an 8-team college football playoff. I know there's been a lot of chatter about expansion to 16 teams, and I'm aware that's what's most likely going to happen, but my response to that 16-team model is hell no. Hell no. 8 is your optimal number of teams to let into the CFP. Think about it. You can still have your home playoff games. You'll have a round of quarterfinals. There's no buys. You'll have a round of quarterfinals, which will be home playoff games. You'll be playing those games on home campuses. And the winners of those games will go to 2 designated bowl games coming out of that grouping of New Year's Six bowls. So your Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, so on and so forth. And then whoever wins those respective games will meet in the national championship, and then there's your champion. So, yes, in that scenario, you literally can have your cake and eat it too. And speaking of cake, here's the icing on the cake for this 8-team college football playoff format. You're only using 2 New Year's Six bowls every year for the CFP. And so you're going to have 4 other New Year's Six bowls at your disposal to do what you will with them. And what will happen is they'll be used for teams that just barely missed the cut for the CFP, those teams that were in the hunt to duke it out in. So in theory, that would be your Alabamas, your Notre Dames, your Miamis, your BYUs, your Vanderbilts, your Texases this year. You just missed the playoffs. Okay, you still get a great bowl game. And I think that can be used to revive bowl season because, let's face it, us true college football fans, we don't want to lose bowl season. It's great. I look forward to it every year as a kid, and I enjoyed all 41 bowl games. But the key behind it was they all built into something. That was the secret recipe to the success of bowl season in my childhood, was they all built into something. Like, yes, you started with the Beef O'Brady's Bowl and the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl, but then that built in to the Sun Bowl and the Music City Bowl, and that's built into the Capital One Bowl, and then that built into the Orange Bowl and the Rose Bowl, and then you had the Natty. Right now, they don't build into anything. It's like a dead-end job. Like, there's nowhere to ascend because all of your New Year's Six bowls are housed under the CFP. And these teams that don't make it, they feel angry, they feel dejected, and they don't want to play in their bowl games because the bowl games that they're playing in are like insults. If you just missed the cut for the CFP, you don't want to play in the ReliaQuest Bowl. You don't want to play in the Cheez-Its Bowl. You don't want to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's a slap in the face. A team that had as good of a season as Notre Dame had, or as Alabama had, or Miami had, should still be playing in the Orange Bowl, or the Rose Bowl, or the Sugar Bowl. You should be rewarded for going 10-2. You shouldn't get a slap in the face. And so that's part of what's been eroding bowl season, but by having those extra New Year's Six bowls at your disposal that isn't being used for the CFP, you can delegate that so that those teams that just missed the cut are actually playing in a meaningful bowl game. And that'll get everybody engaged. That'll get everybody locked in and willing to play one more final game with their guys. So we've got a more effective model here because the teams that really deserve to get into the playoff are getting in. The teams that don't deserve it aren't getting in, but they're still being rewarded with something. So the system is just naturally more functional. Now, I'm going to admit it too. I was never a fan of the 4-team model either because there are always going to be really good teams that are capable of winning a national championship that don't make the cut. I mean, let's go on the list. Let's look at 2023. You had Georgia just barely missed the CFP, who I think was the best team in college football that year. Florida State just missed the cut. They were undefeated. They shouldn't have missed. 2022, you had that Alabama team just missed the CFP. They could compete for national championship. 2021, Ohio State, that team that absolutely throttled Michigan State in November. A few weeks later, they just missed the cut for the CFP. They probably could have won the national championship that year as well. And so, I get it. Oh, and yes, I can't forget 2020 Texas A&M. Can't forget about that. But yes, there's always going to be a quality team that was equipped to win a national championship left out of that 4-team CFP model, and I just didn't like that. I couldn't get down with that. But on the flip side of the coin, let's assess that 16-team CFP model. Let's apply it to this year's fields. Think about this. If you had a 16-team college football playoff this season, you would not only have to let in BYU and Notre Dame, but you would also have to let in Utah, USC, Vanderbilt, and Texas. All teams that, with all due respect, do not belong in the college football playoff. They had great seasons, and I acknowledge that, but they are not playoff worthy. And so you expand to 16 teams, you're just including more and more teams that don't deserve to get in, and that's going to lead to more blowouts and less quality football. So none of us want that. Let's go on the rabbit hole, though, of why this 8-team model would work. And let's look at your top 8 teams from 2025 and 2023. I don't want to look into 2024 because last year you had that weird wonky model where the top 4 conference winners got a bye week, and it was just a clusterfuck. So I don't want to get involved with that. Let's stick to 2025 and 2023 for the purposes of this video. But look at the top 8 teams from this season going into the CFP. Number 1, Indiana. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Texas Tech. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 7, Texas A&M. And number 8, Oklahoma. And I firmly believe that all 8 of those teams are teams that earned a spot in the college football playoff. They deserve to get in, and I believe that all 8 of those teams are capable of winning a national championship. Let's look at the case from 2023. Number 1, Michigan. Number 2, Washington. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Alabama. Number 5, Florida State. Number 6, Georgia. Number 7, Ohio State. And number 8, Oregon. All 8 teams that legitimately have a case to a national championship. I know that Florida State was on their backup quarterback, but they were an undefeated team who won an ACC championship. So, by the committee's criteria, I firmly believe that they would belong in the college football playoff. What I want to examine here, though, is what happens after that 8 line. There's something in the MLB called the Mendoza line. It's a 200 average. If you're above the Mendoza line and you're good at your position, you're likely going to be retained. If you fall below the Mendoza line as a batter, you're likely going to get DFA'd and sent to the minors. I think that college football's Mendoza line, as far as rankings go, it lies between the number 8 spots and the number 9 spot. Just take this year, for example. Your number 8 team in the country is Oklahoma. They deserve to be in. Once you get below that, that's where all the controversy stemmed from. Nobody was outraged at Oklahoma getting into the playoff, but people were going to be pissed either way if Alabama got in, if Miami got in, and if Notre Dame got in. Why? Because at the end of the day, I really don't think that those teams deserve to be in the playoff anyways. I'm going to admit it. I'm going to own that. Every argument that people use against any of those three teams being in the CFP, I agree with. I can understand. I can resonate with. Alabama had an egregious loss to a 5-7 team in Florida State to start the season. Then they got shellacked in the SEC Championship by Georgia. Miami lost to two unranked teams. Notre Dame started the season 0-2. All three of those scenarios are cardinal sins and should exclude those respective teams from the CFP. I completely agree. And so by condensing this down to an 8-team model, I think that you can minimize controversy. You're never going to eliminate it because you live in an imperfect world and somebody is always going to be pissed off about something. Somebody's always going to have a fire up their ass about something. But an 8-team model, I firmly believe, minimizes controversy. And you could directly see it this year as the 8 spot was the cutoff as far as controversy goes. And let's talk 2023 just for the hell of it. Number 8 was Oregon. That first team out would have been Missouri, who I thought had an excellent season in 2023. But I don't think that was exactly playoff worthy. So your top 8 teams in 2023, I firmly believe that those are the teams that deserve to get in and are capable of competing for the national championship. There's no perfect solution to this. Like I said, there will always be controversy. There's controversy with the BCS, with the computer-generated model. There's controversy with the 4-team model. There is controversy with the 12-team model. There would be with the 16, and there would be with the 8. But when you assess all options out there, I firmly believe that the optimal model to minimize controversy and maximize entertainment value and competition in the bowl season overall is an 8-team CFP. That's just my opinion, but let me know what y'all think about this take in the comment section below. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day.